Hey there, hi there, ho there. Good evening, folks. How are you? It's good to see you and it's good to be seen by you, unless you're not in Louisiana, and then it's good to be seen swamp you. Anyway, how are you? I, of course, am the one and only Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, coming to you Hey, get over there. There we go. That's better. Coming to you live, loud and clear from sunny Central Florida. And I hope you guys are doing great this evening. Um, if you're just tuning in, if perhaps you have been lured here by promises of entertainment courtesy of our shorts system, then let me tell you what, if you haven't done so, please consider clicking that subscribe button, clicking the bell icon for notifications. It would be super cool if you did that. We are driving with destiny to not the YouTuber Destiny. He has nothing to do with my channel. We are driving with great purpose towards 10,000 subscribers, and we are just a skosh away from 8,000 subscribers. I think we're at like 7,700 something right now. So I would greatly appreciate it if you guys could just push us over the line, and that would be absolutely fantastic. I would appreciate it because it's just it's just going to be a good time. We're going to have an in real life convention. And we're going to talk a little bit about conventions in just a minute. But let me say hello to you, Kyle Johnson, Great Old Ones channel, Robert Phillips, let's see, Damien247, Bob Jester, Mr. B Plays. Hello, how are you? I hope you're playing something cool. Kayla2204, who is apparently in the Midwest because she said Ohio. I said she said Ohio. Humorless prats. Anyway, Lord Misfit, Alyssa Hazel, Unregistered Hypercam. I appreciate that, Kayla. I really do. I really do. But yeah, we are currently sitting at, let me do the reloadotron. We are at 7,760 subscriptions. Oh wow. How about that? But anyhow, yes, we are drawing ever closer, guys, and we really want to get there. We want to get over 10,000 subs, and the puns are already flying. Rob Turner, how are you? Robovsky. It would just be grand because we will have an in real life convention when that happens, and I want that to happen. I really genuinely do. I really genuinely do. Oh, let me just close that. From Ohio. Oh my God, the puns are becoming manifest. It's crazy. It is completely bonkers. But I'm happy about it. I'm absolutely happy about that. So, what are we going to do tonight? Well, one of the things that I talked about doing last night that maybe we're not going to do tonight, and I'll explain why in just a few minutes, was the possibility of doing a let me see if I can do this. I think I can do this. There you go. Check your Discord, Alyssa, if you're still watching. Is talking about Isle of Dread, X1 Isle of Dread, the module. I feel like we've already done a deep dive on that. I was sitting there today and I was running out of time because I was really busy, and I like to have at least a little bit of knowledge about it. And I found the PDF from some months ago, like a purchased from drive-through, because I like to share stuff with you guys on the screen. And I feel like we already did Isle of Dread. In the interim, I have gotten where is it? It's around here somewhere. There it is. In the interim, I've gotten the big jumbo Isle of Dread Goodman Games book, and I did do Isle of Dread already, so I just feel like it would be a little too soon to go back to it. We will definitely come back around and talk about it and why the blue cover is the superior version. I don't want to leave you guys thinking that like I'm not gonna do it. We've done the L series, Michael. We've done the L series. Michael! But that's not to say that there are things that we cannot go back and talk about again in the future. Stuff is falling, you know it. It's how it is. This is this is The Economist from March 15th through the 21st, 2008. Alan Canning, good to see you. How are you? But this issue just jumped out at me, so we're going to deep dive. This is The Economist. This is from March of 2008. If you ever doubt the impact that Gary Gygax had, I know print media is dead now, like 17 years later, but this magazine is still fairly important. And it was more so back then. I want to read you guys something. Let me, if I can find it. If I can find it. It's a picture of Bashar al-Assad. I just paged past. You know what? Maybe it's in the credits. Let's see. States. Give me just a minute, guys. Give me just a minute. You keep wondering, the first edition Dungeon Master screen I have in front of you. Yes, that is an original. That is an original. I have a couple. I do have a few. Yeah, it was a hell of a magazine. A deep dive on Cinnabar. You do not have the money to super chat that to manifest it. I'm going to try and find this, but somebody just cruised into the green room and we're going to bring them on in just a minute. You guys didn't think we were going to have a guest, and we do. We absolutely do. But I gotta see if I can find this. This is important. And I wasn't even like, this was not intended, but it sprang out and fell into my hands when I was putting Isle of Dread back. So, if I can't find it in a minute, Politics of Hell deep dive, we can do it. I don't know about tonight. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't know if they do, if they're at The Economist, they sell back issues or do PDF back issues or something. But this is The Economist. Understand something. This is a world important. You find this on the Learjets of people who move entire national economies based on their decision. I'll just hold that up. Lascivious knew what I was looking for. Thank you, Lascivious. Or maybe you didn't. This is on page 102. Anyway, obituary, Gary Gygax. Ernest Gary Gygax, Dungeon Master, died on March 4th, age 69. For most people, role-playing conjures up dreary afternoons at management retreats, pretending to be an irate customer or a difficult employee. But if you are under 45 and possibly something of a nerd, more evocative memories may surface. You're Jozan, adventurer cleric of the sun god Palor, traveling the world of Greyhawk, battling orcs and evil wizards, righting wrongs and seeking treasure, at least until you and your friends run out of beer and crisps and stagger off to bed. This is Dungeons and Dragons, the first of the role-playing games, and the reason for thousands of misspent youths. In The Economist, never doubt the import of what surrounds us and what we do, guys. At a more appropriate time, we'll deep dive the whole article, but I just wanted to share that with you guys because it popped out right. And they mentioned Greyhawk right off the bat. I just want that I want that noted. Speaking of notable things, and I'm not going to try and do that. That's going to damage it. Speaking of notable things and notable people, who I've got sitting in the green room, who I just threw a lead out to and is now swinging into the green room. It is the beautiful and the talented Alyssa Hazel.
Alyssa, hey, all right. How's the audio coming through?
You are 5 by 5.
All right, awesome. Okay. So the husband,
thank you for
we were short notice. He is gaming background, so I'm gonna try to turn down the volume a little bit. Okay. There won't be any profanity because he is a good soul, but there may be a moment of is he dead yet? So full context, he is playing Tarkov, so I mean, I don't blame him. So how are you doing tonight, Bill?
I'm doing finer than frog's hair. I really can't complain. I mean, I could, but nobody would listen. So anyway, so you and I are going to be in proximity here.
Yeah, it's
less than a week, 6 days, which just kind of blows me away.
Yeah, it's very much a happy coincidence because after January, I don't know how much traveling I'm going to be doing for a little bit. So it's kind of nice that everything lined up where I was going to be down where you guys are because I'm from crab country, aka Maryland. So being able to be down closer where you guys are, first time in Florida, first time in that area, so it should be it should be a nice little trip over the week.
Excellent. And I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have some great vittles and we're going to hang out. And I guess we've gotten we were voluntold we're going to be playing some
cosmic encounters
strategy board.
Yeah. Look, though here's the fun part about the game. It is actually pretty fun. I've played it before. And it is one of Harmony's preferred games. I think if you go to her profile, that's the game that's in the what's it called? The part of the profile where there's the secondary picture. Yeah. I don't know why I can't remember the name of it right now.
That's entirely okay.
Yeah, but it's a fun time, and I think especially among friends in person because I played it with a virtual tabletop. And if you hear chewing right now, that is a small dog.
Yes,
who is
dog. She's looking up. She expected to be on camera.
Yeah, the funny thing is,
camera at me. Look at that face. Oh my god.
Yeah, the funny part.
Beast.
Yeah, she knows it too. Her name is Friday. So very cute. But it sounds like you are having a very interesting article that just popped up. Was it a tribute to Gary Gygax or?
It is. I don't know. Have you read The Economist?
I mean, no, but
it's very much a propeller head magazine. If you're into the formerly up-to-date news cycle. I mean, now it's like, oh, the president's tweeted, and that, like, happens, and then 5 minutes later, millions of people know about it. But as recently as 2008, the news cycle was like, well, this happened yesterday, but we're telling you about it now, so it's still brand new information.
Yeah, it is kind of funny because it reminds me of we were talking about Norm in the green room, and I think he had a bit about the news, about how there was they had it right when they had like the hour news recap, because that's really all the news that you really needed in the day was like, yay, I have this 1 hour and that's it. Like that's all you really needed. But it is funny. I've been talking to my husband about it occasionally, where I think if you're in any way active on social media, particularly X, like most of the time you get the full story before like the commentary channels get to it. So there are people I follow on YouTube for commentary on stuff, but it's just like now it's like, okay, now that I pay attention to what goes on social media, it's just like, okay, I already know this. I've already seen this. I already know what this is about, like that kind of thing. So, but no, it's very, but no, it is kind of interesting to think back to, you'd read the paper to find out what was going on. And
I mean, back in like 1990, when we sprang for like full cable, not just like 7 channels or 10 channels, but like full cable. When we had CNN, like if I had an off day from both classes and work, living at home as I did, I was a late out the door guy. I would turn CNN on, and I just like, for 4 hours, CNN just going in my ear while I was doing whatever, reading, screwing around on my computer or whatever. And I just felt so plugged in, right? So I'm getting the news as it happens. Thank you very much. And now it's like, but the Economist is not the place where you would think you would find something like this. And my father-in-law, when he got the issue, he read it and was like, oh, I thought you might like to have this, Bill. And I mean, Gary moved whether you love him or hate him, Gary moved a cultural zeitgeist with his typewriter. Look at the amount of money that WoW pulls in. Look at the amount of money that X video games pull in, that anything does. Failed insurance adjuster from Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and his associated dreamy-eyed friends who just read science fiction and fantasy novels, decided to go, hey, what if we took our crazy ideas and made them into a game that everyone can play? And that has, it's not ripples, it's tidal waves that it impacted. And I can't think of a better example outside of what we know in the normie sphere than the fact that The Economist, and it wasn't just like, dead at 69, Gary Gygax, ex-founder of TSR. It was a full page article. It was 36 column inches. So,
well, it's been, how many years has it been since, because I know that was it the 50th anniversary that happened recently, or was that
last year was the 50th. So
well, it is kind of interesting that you have kind of that like historical event and then bring that around, because like you're saying, it is a huge part of the sort of cultural zeitgeist that we have now. Like Chris Pine, am I getting the right Chris Pine was in a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
The 2023 Honor Amongst Thieves.
So it's become this huge phenomenon at this point. Doggo, what are you doing? She likes getting into things. I don't know if you've seen this on X, but she's officially racked up four kills in terms of paperback books. So
yes.
So every so often we have to keep an eye on her, and by every so often I mean she's still like 9 months, so she will eat our furniture out from underneath us if we don't. Yeah, you'll probably see her working on the husband's chair right now.
Yeah. I want to bite this. My teeth hurt. It feels good on them. Nom, nom,
nom. Basically. Sorry, I'm easily distracted.
No.
But the I don't know. It's I think it's especially interesting when you look at how many IPs developed role-playing games or role-playing game modules or adventures that could be used with Dungeons and Dragons and those kind of games as a result. Like I think that I sent you the picture of the Rocky, was it Bullwinkle? It was the Bullwinkle and Rocky role-playing game that came out in the 80s. And that was by Fantasy Games Unlimited. But I've seen
Rocky and Bullwinkle was TSR.
Was
actually put out by TSR. No, let me see here.
I thought it was Fantasy Games. I was looking at it today. Part of my side hustle is assisting a gamer with a 40-year collection, slowly starting to downsize it. So it's been that's where I find most of my well, that's kind of interesting things. But I swore it was the Fantasy Unlimited games, but I could be mixing it up. No, you're right. It was TSR. I was thinking of a different. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
I also put up one called Psy World today that was done by Fantasy Unlimited Games. But the number of just sort of oddball, I'm trying to remember this correctly. There was one that I saw that was kind of wild, and I didn't expect it. There was a movie that came out in the 80s. I know that's very specific. But one called The Keep.
Yeah.
And it was one of the ones that was I think it was done by Michael Mann.
Yes, it was a Michael
Mann.
And
it was he hated it so much he kind of disavowed it. But I don't know if I'm having a fever dream right now, but I swear I saw a adaptation of The Keep as an adventure module for a role-playing game system at one point.
Yes, it was for advanced D&D, and it was made by Mayfair Games. It was one of this, that is the strangest tie-in. The Keep is surrounded by weirdness in that, again, it was a TTRPG module. It is the Keep. If you don't know anything about the author who wrote the book that The Keep is based on, that is literally a book from the middle of a 14-volume cycle of novels about the main. They just were this one that we're gonna make, not let's start this off as a franchise. They literally just optioned, just kind of picked a book out of the middle.
Oh, that's what's so fascinating. I haven't watched it yet. I want to, because I'm slowly turning into a Michael Mann fan. I still need to watch The Heat, because I realized it's 3 hours, and if I'm going to be doing that, I need to carve out some time to do that.
Heat is what are you doing this Saturday? I'm watching Heat. That's my Saturday. Yeah. That is football game length.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's I'm at the point now where I'm like, okay, I need to have energy too.
Mhm.
So I'm paying attention. I fell asleep during Gladiator the other day, which is terrible.
Mm.
It's like a cardinal sin at that point.
Not not Michael Mann related, but have you watched Black Hawk Down yet?
I have not. Well, I thought the one that you recommended was the Condor one with Robert Redford.
3 Days of the Condor, it's a thriller slash espionage movie, but no, I'm teasing you about Black Hawk Down. It is about the Ranger mission to arrest Aidid in 1991 in Somalia, or 92 in Somalia, and things go horribly awry. And like I said, I tease you about it. It will
No, you're
make you
fine.
cry.
You're fine.
It
Well,
will absolutely make you cry.
listen. I think I'm limited to like one of those per week.
Yeah.
So at this point, but the Heat is one that I want to check out as well. The But now, like, back to the original conversation topic, the fact that the Keep got, and this wasn't a book related one, because on the cover of it, it was the poster for the movie, so it was,
Mhm.
I think it was directly made to tie into the movie. The fact that a random movie from the 80s got an adventure module created for it for AD&D, I think that just says a lot for how popular, and how, I don't want to say popular, but how voraciously people were creating content for AD&D and Dungeons and Dragons back in the day, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no. That makes perfect sense. And it's kind of and there it is for those of
Yeah.
you who might be interested. There is, we were talking about the Satanic Panic a bit last night on the show. And it is so strange that at the time that was going down, like honestly, I think, look at the popularity explosion of D&D now,
Mm.
right? It is, I think it's slaking off,
Yeah.
but it is the thing to be seen doing. And we had someone on the show, and she's an actress. You guys know who I'm talking about. Sadly, she's not on X anymore. But I asked her, I said, okay, who's somebody who plays D&D in the business that we would be surprised to hear about? Because everybody knows Vin Diesel, and so on and et cetera. And she said, honestly, you would be surprised at who doesn't play it. It is a shock.
Craft a mag case.
No. It is a shock in Hollywood when you meet someone who's not playing D&D.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, that was very telling. And I think if you take the Satanic Panic out of the equation, it probably would have been that big in the 80s.
Yeah, and I sometimes wonder, and this is just someone looking back, how much of the, and you wouldn't have used the word astroturfed back then, but like how much of the Satanic Panic was propelled beyond, like, especially at the beginning, like was hyped up, like artificially, if that makes sense. Because I know that there are, speaking as a practicing Christian, I know that there are people who would look at Dungeons and Dragons and say, like, this seems a little crazy, even today. But it also, like, my dad, also a practicing Christian. He's played D&D since he was in middle school. His mom bought him the white box set, and the infamous one with like the harpies, and it's like, Mom, she's like, it's not drugs, so so she was happy with that. But I don't know. I also didn't live in that era. I mean, obviously. So I couldn't say whether or not it was, but I'm curious to see how much of it was like people in the news talking about it and getting people like riled up, because you on social media nowadays you can see how quickly people get like amped up about things. The 3.5 Supplemental Testament role playing in the biblical era. I don't know if this is exactly it, but I have seen a 5th edition version that's rolled through where the spells were named after Bible verses. I thought that was kind of funny. But I didn't play it personally. I just saw it kind of pass through. I mean, as I was saying, my side hustle is assisting a gamer who has been gaming for a long time, kind of whittle down his collection and downsizing stuff as he heads towards retirement. So, yeah. Sorry.
Let me know if he doesn't want any 1st edition AD&D stuff. I might be able to help you.
I mean, I have seen a great many AD&D stuff go through. Like I said, the keep wandered past me at some point, but we are kind of getting to the end of things. I did see, but it was 2nd edition AD&D stuff too. So I mean,
first of all, yikes!
No, you're like, no wonder he was ready to get rid of it.
I could have beat him to the punch and thrown that shit out before I even bought it. So, anyway, I'm kidding. I
You're good. You're good. I just one of the processes of one of the parts of that is I don't know. I think I got a better appreciation for the hobby as a whole, like how long it had been going on, how much content there was out there, just sort of being able to recognize more names, that kind of thing, as I've been doing it. But it's poor doggy. I think she's in the crate right now. I don't know if you can hear her. She's so sad.
Yes.
But I won't keep her in there too long, guys. Don't worry. She's so sad. Okay. All right. Let me run that down a little bit. All right. Anyway, sorry. Where were we before my
we
dog
were
started?
talking about the impact of D&D.
Yeah. I promise. There's no. I'm not holding a remote right now, guys. I promise.
Yeah, she's not holding a remote.
The dog is just a little dramatic, and it's really sad. She's a Shiba, so they're known for the dramatics. So I apologize. But anyways, the entrance to the port terminal. We're the impact of D&D. I might have to.
No, I understand. I just kind of threw a line out. I totally get it if you are.
No, you're good. But I can always stay on a couple more minutes. I just don't want her to be in the crate too long and sad and.
No, I've got it. So,
but the widespread impact of D&D is
she is not gonna let you get a word in. She is done. She is done.
No, a funny story about that. I don't know if chat has heard of the infamous Shiba scream, where it sounds like they're being murdered, but you literally just like brushed them gently. When she was a puppy, like probably one of the first weeks we brought her home. I was walking her in the backyard. I think I might have lightly brushed her with my foot or something, and she just goes, ah! And and I just look at her and I'm like, thanks for telling the neighbors that I'm murdering you.
Oh, honey, that Hassan Piker's moved next door to us. Because he shocks his dog. He puts a shock collar on his dog and electrocutes it when it tries to move.
Yeah, it just
in case anyone wasn't aware.
Yeah,
he shocks his dog for internet clout and then claims he doesn't. And then tries to break the remote and the collar so they're not obviously dog shocking tools. I'm sorry.
Occasionally
that makes me angry.
She'll sit with me during live streams when I'm back on the topic of the impact of D&D. Okay, let's see if she'll let me talk now. Okay. Do you feel WotC is accidentally killing D through overextending the target audience? I honestly do, in a sense, and I think Wizards is in general just kind of milking and overextending the just the hobby in general. The fact that the Office, now I don't play Magic the Gathering, so I'm kind of just talking just from vicarious kind of experience, but the fact that the Office is becoming a part of Magic the Gathering, like literally they're making cards for the Office and SpongeBob for Magic the Gathering, I just don't think is a good sign. Like, they're making bank, don't get me wrong, they're making bank, but I think that in about 10-15 years time, what is Magic the Gathering even going to look like? And I think for people who started off enjoying the lore of Magic the Gathering, again, I don't play it, but it's very much a case of what is going to be left of what got you here in the first place.
Yeah. And this is something I've thought about a long time, and I'm sure this. You've gotten this influence. Your dad probably talked about this. What drove me to D&D was my love of Tolkien. What drove Gary to create D&D was his love of Fritz Leiber, of Tolkien, of Howard, of all of these other authors. And when we create, we reach out beyond the bound. It's like, okay, here's the rules for doing things, but the structure that we want to put onto the framework is what we have learned from the Lord of the Rings, from Star Wars, from this, that, or the other. D&D has become almost completely self-referential. It's become a self-referencing meme. And it's okay to say we need to freshen things up and to look beyond. But, I mean, miss me with an Office D&D supplement, miss me with a stat block for SpongeBob. I'm just like, I can't with that.
And honestly, I feel like I'd be okay with it if there was a wider, if there were niches in each category. So if for example, they were doing reprints of classic older, like the classic first edition stuff, like if they did like an unedited, maybe lightly polished re-release of like first edition, if they did a completely untouched version of AD&D, because AD&D is perfect, and why would anyone ever want to change any part of it?
That is correct.
But
True.
If they did that and allowed it to function in a similar way that it does to 5e or 5.5 or 2025 or whatever you want to call the newest edition that came out. If it allowed for that same kind of usability, like you could go on D&D Beyond and set up a first edition game with people from all over the world, I feel like that would be more interesting because you'd have a wider variety. Like you could have people with OSR, you could have people who are interested in the newer stuff, without alienating anybody. But I feel like they've decided to put all of their eggs into a market that really isn't the market that they think that they have. Like,
Yeah.
because the people who love D&D are going to be there for a while, but the more alienated you made that target, the more that target just moved to other things like Shadow Dark, Castles and Crusades, obviously first edition AD&D, to name a lot of like the classic groups, or moved back to or Pathfinder 1E, which is what we were playing, or Vaesen, which is the game that I normally play. So we started playing on Thursday nights. It's really the core group that got you here in the first place is starting to move on, in that sense. And I don't know. You can do things outside of it. For example, like if I can talk about my books for a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when I'm writing, I write in different genres, but the sort of the core of how I write remains the same. Like kind of oddball fiction, kind of against kind of the normal grain kind of fiction. And I feel like as long as unless I go completely off the rails and start writing like bodice rippers or things like that, like I'm probably going to keep most of my like core group. Like there's probably going to be people who aren't going to like sci-fi as much as like fantasy, or fantasy as much as sci-fi, or some people aren't going to like horror as much. But if I keep in what I do, generally speaking, trying new things here and there, I think generally speaking, the reader base that I've started to build is probably going to stick with me, and as long as I don't call them terrible things and say they're all misogynist or whatever, because one of my books didn't do as well as I thought they should. That silly thing. Right. And I think GUOGC could have done that, but instead of doing that, they decided to throw out the people who essentially built the company, both from a consumer base and a employee base, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. And I mean, with the departure of who was it? This is gonna bug the hell out of me.
You'll remember at midnight tonight, you know that.
Yeah, no, it'll jump right into my head. But I think it was somebody correct me on this. Jeremy Crawford. When Jeremy Crawford, if I'm thinking of the right person, he left. When was it? Early this year. Jeremy Crawford wrote
I got
first edition AD&D stuff for Late Dragon magazine. Jeremy Crawford was the last guy standing of anyone who had any connection to that past.
Yeah,
he's gone. The people who are eyeing the C-suite now were like a year old when third edition debuted.
Yeah.
There's someone.
And part of that is just the natural progression of time. At some point, you do need people do retire and
Could've
that
swore
kind of
I
thing,
saw
but
something possible.
at the same time, you have to have people who understand, and this isn't in any industry. You look at Starbucks or Chipotle or WotC or whatever. You always want to have people who understand why the company worked in the first place remaining there. You want people who understand the core principles of what got you here, that kind of thing. It's like I don't know if you saw the interview with the guy who runs Sam's Club or something like that, or Costco or something, with the dollar hot dog.
Yeah, the dollar hot dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
That when people, when they're like, oh yeah, with inflation, we need to raise the price of the dollar hot dog, and the CEO is just like, you do that and I will kill you. Like, you need to figure it out. I will kill you if you change this. And they literally, rather than change it, they bought hot dog manufacturing plants for their hot dogs. So they just produced it themselves rather than having to pay somebody else to do it, rather than change it, because that was part of what made their business model super successful, is that people could come in and have us a very cheap lunch. Like, that's like, they get their money from their memberships. And if you treat your members well and don't just change things because inflation pops up, then it's what happens when you get business majors to run a business rather than the person who started the business in the first place.
He's got something big, dude.
He's got something big.
This is a great statement here, because did you see today when we were talking about I posted, like, late last night, somebody had made a comment about rules, and I think this ties into what you're saying.
Okay.
Not just I made a great Twitter post, so everybody should think I'm great.
I mean,
But
we already did.
No, Kayla mentions this, and we were talking about this over on Twitter. Not just new people not understanding why the company worked, but new designers not understanding why the game features worked in the first place. This has been something that has been up my attitude since 2000, for literally a quarter of a century. I hear all these talks from people who came in and were like, shut up, we're playing third edition now and it's going to be better, or it is better, or whatever. But no, now it's fourth edition. No, now it's fifth edition. And when I would say, but first edition, and they would say, yeah, for the vibe, it's fine, but its rules are stupid. And what about this rule? And what about that rule? And they looked at these rules in a vacuum. They never understood how the rules interoperated.
Yeah.
You know? Like, why do we have to pay money to level? That's stupid. Oh my God, the game has become Monty Hall. Look at how much money the players have.
And here's, from what I understand, it used to be that you had to find somebody to train you in your class, and that's why it cost money. Was that correct?
Yeah, I mean, you had to find money, you had to pay tithes, guild fees,
Student
bribery,
loans.
Student loans, basically. Yeah, you had to bribe guild masters, and if you were a thief, it's like, we're gonna need at least 5,000 gold pieces to pay your bail, to keep you out of the gallows while we're training you to be to be a strong arm robber. And they don't understand that looking at that and saying, we're not going to play with that rule anymore, and then coming back and saying AD&D is a Monty Hall game, and then designing a new game where you fix that and are like, yeah, AD&D was Monty Hall. It was just people walking around with millions of gold pieces by level 5 and tons of magic items and so on. And I say, did you make them pay for training? Did you make them trade the magic items for training and for other services? Well, no. And that's where we're at. And it's a lack of understanding of that legacy. I mean, it would be like if I started with the second book of I'm going to end up calling it the Third Initiative Trilogy, and I apologize.
You're fine.
If I just jumped in there and I was like, Why is this crystal so important? This is a bad trope. She shouldn't have put that crystal stuff in there. It should be this. It should be that. Why don't they just, do this or do that? Like, did you read the first one? Did you, or for those of you who haven't, who and you need to, you need to read Alyssa's work. But the Lord of the Rings, you jump in the Two Towers. Why are they trying to throw the ring away? Why don't they just keep it and use it against the bad guys? It's like, you don't get it. You're not, you're taking stuff in a vacuum and you're not understanding. So I think I think you and I are on the same page.
Yeah. And it's, I think part of the evidence to back that up is the sheer volume of OSR clones or retro clones that have come out, and I want to say in the past 20 years, I would say, between I know there's been a lot more recently. I feel like a lot of, and this is not to say it's a bad thing, I feel like I've seen a lot of smaller indie companies focusing in on buzzwords such as like old school role-playing games, first edition, evoking first edition Dungeons and Dragons, older 70s games, bringing it back to Howard and Clark Ashton Smith, like bringing it back to the origins of the older school systems. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think it's very indicative of the market and the need, or at least the appearance of the market, that so many indie games that I've seen recently have gone back to a one small book that's about this big. Heck, I've even seen a lot of people go back to a box set with 4 books in it, like 4 small books, as opposed to one big book. In I think like in the late 2010s, early 2020s. So it's been kind of an interesting kind of return to the traditional ideals. Now, I do think a lot of the hey, Kabuki Kid, I did see, I think we were in the middle of something, but if you want to plop it back in, I'd be happy to answer your question.
I can scroll up and grab it for you quick while you talk, Alyssa.
Yeah, but there's just been a lot of there's even just a system. I haven't played it, so this isn't a referral. It's just a mention. There's even a system called White Box Sorcery. That's the title, where it's just, we are the white box. We are trying to evoke the white box from that old school. Yeah, just right. You're saying, like, that's where we want to bring in that, and it's a I don't know. I think that's just a very interesting sort of look at the market. Do you plot your stories out ahead of time, or do you write by the seat of your pants? It depends on the book. Third Test was my first novel. I wasn't really sure exactly what I was looking at. It usually ends up being how I write my books is I start with a first draft. I usually get about halfway through, and then I realize something that's like, oh, this falls into place naturally, and this falls into place naturally. So I usually end up going back to the beginning and rewriting and polishing, and I end up getting like a draft 1.75, so to speak, and that's how I end my first manuscript, first draft. I prefer it that way just because I feel like it allows there sort of to a more organic feeling to the story, because oftentimes I don't really know how a character is going to react to the scene, and you can't really plan the character. I think a lot of people who play role-playing games especially, I mean, you guys can understand the idea that you start off with a concept for what you want to play, and that just changes the moment the dice start rolling. Because it's hard to be an epic barbarian when the nat ones keep coming, or just something happens, or I mean, you can have the character type that you want to play, but the second you start interacting with the people around the table, that serious stoic barbarian you had planned might end up being like the guy who just keeps cracking jokes all the time. Like it characters rarely survive initial concepts. Exactly, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. So I try to have like a vague outline of what I'm thinking, and then it develops more and more. Now, that usually means my books are shorter. And with the third test, I was not expecting to write a sequel to it. It was supposed to be like a one and done kind of thing. But people ended up. Well, and here's the thing, like I wasn't planning on it. So I was like, I don't really need to figure out all this stuff. So when I got into the second initiative, which is the sequel, because I named it the third test because, again, I thought it was going to be a standalone book. So it's like, sequel. What do I call it? So now I have the second initiative, and I am officially on the hook for writing a third book and making it a trilogy, all because I chose to pick the number 3.
The first trilogy.
I mean, well, we're gonna get to the end. I'm not sure if I'm gonna kill off the main character or not, but we'll see how it goes.
If you kill off KT, have you seen Misery?
Well, no,
it'd be Misery, but I would just make you eat cheesecake constantly.
That does sound miserable at some point, but I am looking forward to the slice of cheesecake I'm gonna have later next week. Yes. Well, I try to keep things a little like well, I guess just to sort of wrap up the answer to the question, I like writing by the seat of the pants because sometimes it's just like I stumble across a concept that I really like, and it's like, okay, this seems to really fit, and then we'll go back and retroactively work it in, massage it in, and I just find you get more organic kind of stories. And I don't want to give any spoilers, but in the second initiative, literally from the point when she gets on the satellite moving forward, especially during like the final part of it, I had nothing planned. And I was quite literally going off of what would instinctively happen next with the characters. So it I just find it more organic that way. It does mean I have to do a lot of like sort of thinking in the moment, but that's how I do it.
Well, there you go, Kabuki. So that's when I write, I generally just sit down and say, okay, hands, do your thing. And you know, I start. I'm a terrible writer, and I'm a terrible writer.
But you can make a pretty good program.
I can make a pretty good program. Actually, I will say this. When it comes, my writing got me a gig with Gary Gygax, so I'm not gonna diss my writing that much. That's so true. Yeah, I did. Hey, do you want to throw me a link so I can share with all the nice people to where they can find your awesome works? Just drop it back in the private chat. Yes. All right. You didn't know you were going to do a little promo slot tonight, did you?
Well, I will say I was planning on gaming tonight. We were going to be running Vazen by Free League. And then as it happens, which is always fun, the last minute cancellations. So Wednesday nights I was supposed to be Barbarians of Lemuria, and we didn't do that. And then tonight was supposed to be Vazen, and we didn't do that. So I was a very sad little person.
I am sorry. I am
Yeah.
sorry. Well, but that meant you got to come and play here with us.
That's
tonight.
true. That is true.
So I'm gonna share this up real quick.
Yeah.
But I just, I do this from time to time. I see my awesome peeps out there, and I just gotta grab somebody and drag them kicking and screaming on. And I do appreciate you. So everybody, go to the Amazon store and get yourself some creepy fiction in Twitching Light and some excellent sci-fi in Second Initiative and The Third Test. I am keyed up, though. I mean, all kidding aside, I'm excited about about the Second Initiative sequel. I guess, are you counting backwards?
So it's going to be Third Test, Second Initiative, and it's gonna be a little bit out, because again, next year is going to be the year of Horde Wars. Right. So I'm going to be doing a collection for them. I'll probably start work on it at the end of 2026. So maybe like mid 2027 release for the second, but I've already started kind of planning in the works, going to the first colony, and sort of playing around, because in the world of I've just started calling it the Helios system. There is named after Brother Helios Crane, who is one of the founders of like the core faith system. There's going to be the first colony where his tomb lays, and there's going to be some intrigue involved in that, and sort of dealing with an ancient evil that has taken root. So it's going to be kind of a, I would say that the Third Test is kind of cult and space pirates in the depths of space. Second Initiative is probably more of a sci-fi thriller meets odd, eclectic Western. I would say there's like a little tinge of like Western stuff in there with a little bit of human experimentation. And then I would say the third one is probably going to be a bit more Flash Gordon in inspiration. So taking a little bit more cues from science fantasy, while still maintaining the thriller aspects that worked really well in the first two books. Now I don't know if I'm gonna kill off Katina or not. I think that will be like the end of the trilogy. I'm gonna have some sort of final kind of end, because I'd rather have a good clean end than than something that goes on too long. But the nice thing about how the world is set up is that there is room for stories to be told on either side of it. For example, like Brother Helios Crane lived centuries upon centuries before Katina was ever born. So if I wanted to, I could go back and tell some of his stories, which is going to be more of like early space exploration and more fighting against barbarians on ancient worlds, that kind of thing. And or I could go further out and tell the story of maybe Katina's children, or like sort of like the bitter end of space, that kind of thing, where it's like almost post-apocalyptic sci-fi, where last couple humans are straggling about, or somewhere in between. But that is one of the nice things about the setup to the world, is that there is room for new stories to be told with different people in various aspects. Yep, Space King will come back one day. I will say though, it's I'm also excited for the book that's going to be coming out in February, hopefully, which is going to be the second part of the sort of I call it the juniper duology. Among the juniper trees and beyond the juniper trees. I call it a pseudo historical Grimm's fantasy kind of tale, where there is a young man trying to become a man worthy of being king, despite all odds, that kind of thing. And it was inspired a little bit. There's a little bit of Journey to the West inspiration in there of three sort of pilgrims trying to find themselves a little bit. But there's also politicking and murder and mayhem and strange birdmen in trees handing out random prophecies, that kind of thing. So I'm excited to see that follow through. I think it's probably going to be my best book yet, so I'm very, very excited. It's about to head off to the editor, so which means for the next 6 to 8 weeks, I am either going to be on Twitter way too much, or I'm going to be productive and start work on do more fiddling with the collection for Horde Wars. So
you realize that given the state of things, you can take a break. That is permitted. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know I could, but
oh God, that just said it all. I could, but
well, I mean, listen, listen, my brain will not survive if I don't have something to do for the next 8 to 9 weeks.
I understand.
Yeah.
I
get you.
I gently tease.
I know. But the nice thing about it is like get a little typing done here, a little typing done there. It's a project I'm genuinely excited for. Little nervous. It's going to be my first time collaborating with a company. And I'm not saying I don't want my other stuff done well, because it's my work. But it's going to be the first time I'm going to be like beholden to somebody else. And it's going to be working with a world that's already pre-established. So like working with somebody else's toolbox, if that makes sense. But I like the company. I like the people that I'm going to be working with. So, and that's going to be a series of short stories based in the world of Advanced Horde Wars. So I'm very excited. It's going to be, I'm going to try to explore everything from like sword and sorcery kind of stuff to classic Arthurian inspired work, to the story I'm working on right now. The working title is In the Belly of Baal, and it is a Clark Ashton Smith inspired heist story where earthquake opens up this new dungeon that has only been heard of in legend, and 3 men go in, and who knows if they'll actually come out. So it's like a classic spooky times, very much the story about the 2 thieves that run into the Shuggoth in the bowl, or there's also another one, the web weaver, or the weaver of the web. There was another Clark Ashton story about these 3 guys who are sent by a tyrant king to retrieve some artifact, and Yeah, none of them make it. So just something.
Yeah. Well,
Just something.
I'm looking forward to all your stuff, Liz.
Thanks.
I gotta be honest with you. I have not read a piece that you've written that's let me down. And I'm not
Thanks.
just blowing smoke because I think you're a swell person. You'd be a swell person if you like wrote ad copy for matchbooks, but
Gosh, shucks.
it just so happens that you also write some pretty compelling fiction.
Thanks.
I got look, there's something I gotta ask you this. I think I've asked you this privately, maybe on a previous stream, but I've forgotten because old person brain. So if this is not something you've thought about, but it kind of ties a little bit into Kabuki's question, but if this is not something you've considered, or you're like, gee, I don't know, or you just don't want to say, it's completely fine. But the third test, the second initiative, that science fiction realm, is this something wholly like I just invented a universe where this happens? Or is this like, are you going the traveler route where it is so far in the future that things have lapsed a couple of times, and like, what is Earth? Earth is like the dirt under our feet. What, there's a whole planet called dirt? We don't know about that. That's in the distant past. What is the universe that it's set in?
Well, honestly, I intend it to be at this point a completely separate universe of its own.
Okay.
The idea of it, sort of the creation story of it, is that there was Mitriana and the Father. So those are the two prime deities of the world. And sort of in a Pandora's box sort of way, where the the Father created the universe and everything, and Mitriana, however, was kind of lonely, and wanted to create something of her own, so she created people and kind of set them about the earth. And the Father was not very happy with this because these things are crawling over all over his nice creation. And Mitriana basically said, no, please let them live. And the Father, who represents kind of justice and law and order, sort of laid down three rules that if humanity could continue to create, and if they could survive the tests, if they could continue to pass the test of creation, stewardship, and mercy, they would not be destroyed. So creation, continuing in innovation, like looking to the stars, like not becoming stagnant, like continuing to press forward intellectually. If they could steward what they have, like take care of the planets, the resources that they had, and then mercy, like take care of the other people in their lives, and that sort of thing, and like be peaceable among themselves, then they would never be wiped out. And sort of after that, Mitriana gave a gift to humanity in the pursuit of that, called Mitrite, which is sort of this green blue crystal that is sort of able to be mined, but it's also kind of organic at the same time, where the it's sort of revealed to kind of be like a little bit of the lifeblood of the planet, not to go too Ferngully. But what ended up happening is that at first, for hundreds of years, Mitrite was considered just a religious implement, like something like sage or incense, something that the religious folks like the Church of Mitriana would use in their rituals. And then people discovered, oh, actually, this is a power source. We could use this to fuel engines Specifically, we can use this to enable faster than light transportation on our spaceships, which completely changed the game. So what ended up happening, and where the third test begins, is that Cassian, the primary planet, had completely mined themselves hollow, essentially, of mitrite. Now, mitrite is a renewable resource, but it's a slowly renewable resource, and under certain circumstances. So, because they'd completely finished mining themselves out, and the Earth had kind of started to adjust and change as a result of this, what's the word? Right word? This kind of sacred element leaving, they discovered, oh, there's another planet nearby called that's called Brechia in the third test that was basically terraformed into a mining colony. But because, again, they needed a lot of it, they basically almost treated Brechians as like second-class citizens in a sense. Basically push them regardless of the health issues and consequences that came up, including people just becoming poisoned, essentially, which led to something called being ore-addled that is more in the second book. But the whole setup to the third test is that there was a civil war between Cassian and Brechia because the Brechians had enough. And because they basically had a monopoly on the thing that powered faster than light travel, it was a very short and violent but decisive contest where Brechia won. So Brechia had all the resources, Cassian had all the refinement, which basically left these two planets in like this lock. So, of course, the Cassian government, being the Cassian government, was told, hey, as part of the peace treaty, you're not allowed to seek out other resources for mitrite. And they're like, cool, yeah, we'll totally abide by that agreement. So that's the world that Katina lives in, where if most of the cows are on another colony and you need fresh beef, of course, everyone's going to be starting to eat like plant protein and things like that. And real beef is more rare and more valuable and more expensive. Paper is now considered, and if unrecycled paper is considered a rarity, it's incredibly expensive. Metal, you can't just mine metal and get all those resources because they're on another planet. So now they use like a polyhedron, polyplastic kind of thing. Yeah, something like that. So they live in a world of like protein sludge and things like that. Luxury beef, yeah. So the setup to the story is that Katina, who is an acolyte of Mitriana, is struggling to pass her 3 tests because every acolyte has to pass test of creation, test of stewardship, test of mercy. And because of Katina's background, she is limited in what she can pursue in terms of creation. So she attempts to do a pilgrimage to a colony planet called Colony 76 that pre the war went radio silent. And because the war kicked up, everyone kind of forgot that it existed. So she finds this out and kind of says, okay, I need some kind of purpose in my life. I need something to drive me forward because I don't know what to do. So she basically sets up this colony exploration and sort of mission of mercy to go to this planet. And accompanying her is a bunch of other people who each have their own reasons for being there. So, because it's both a private and government sponsored mission, Uh, so there's the two pilots, Vaso and Tamri. There's the pilot and the engineer. There's Katina herself, Father Matthias, who goes with her, who's kind of sponsoring her on this trip. There is Simon Novak, who is a transport administration officer who was sent along to observe what's going on. And there's Dr. Yen, who is there to flee alimony payments.
Yes.
So
he has a yen for staying rich.
yeah. So they're all there for all different reasons. And of course, with it being a science fiction thriller, horrible, terrible things happen basically once they hit the deep space. So no, that's kind of the world that's been set up. A world where economics and politics and war have created a sort of stagnation in how things operate and how things develop. And it's about a sort of a simple woman of faith, like a very young woman, having to figure it all out. And despite all of these pressures that are coming in from all these different places, both keep a grasp on herself and bring everyone home safely, because it's terrible things are occurring on Colony 76. MD or PhD, MD. He that's why the government contracted him to go out with them. But it's I am very proud of how it turned out, and when I made the second initiative, and I'm not going to babble on too long, it was interesting having to go into the sequel and decide, okay, what else do I need to develop? And part of that was Breccia, like what had happened on their side of the war, the gang activity that had resulted as a fact, what the prison system on Cassian would look like, different parts of the world, a little bit more of the technology. But I also had to explore sort of the notion of sort of the effects that the Mitrite had on people.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil this, guys. Really, you need to read these two books someday soon, to be 3 books. But that was a real creeping horror that I really liked the exploration of in Second Initiative, the long-term effects of the exposure. And again, that I got to pump the brakes, because otherwise I will wreck the book for anyone who's planning on reading it. But that exploration of that I loved. I absolutely loved that.
Well, the I can sort of have the world building aspect of it. Mitrite, because of its nature, and it really is only supposed to be handled by people who are of the Church of Mitriana. Like, it was never intended to be this mass-produced, mass-refined ore, essentially. So when people who don't have that sort of spiritual safeguard or spiritual protection try to refine it, at best they become the ore-addled, which is I drew a lot from if you guys have ever read the book or heard the book Radium Girls, I drew a lot from radium poisoning when it came to the effects that the ore would have on a normal person. But for people of ill intent,
he's in that other building.
it acts as a doorway into sort of deeper, more spiritual degradation, if that makes sense. And I don't want to spoil anything, anything further, but it's sort of a was it Mirkwood where they said that it becomes more of what you are, or reveals more of what you are. I'm trying to remember. There was a forest, and can't remember if it was.
Are you thinking of the tree in The Empire Strikes Back?
No, there was a fantasy war. This is a common trope. So it's probably in a couple different books, where it's sort of the idea if you go in, when you go into the forest, you take in, you'll be alone with whatever you taken with you, that kind of concept. I know it's probably in a bunch of other things besides Star Wars, but I guess Star Wars is the most obvious kind of thing. But that's the kind of effect that it has. Like, it will magnify whatever's inside of you, in a sense. And when you're dealing with people, like, I know I'm biased in saying you should check out the book. I will also mention, if you're more of an audiobook enjoyer, both the Third Test and the Second Initiative are currently available as audiobooks. So if you are interested in the stories, but you're more of an audiobook enjoyer, they're both on Audible. But yeah, so those are just my current projects. I think there's a lot to explore in those concepts, which is why I am excited to explore the world more. In the I've already been throwing out titles in my head, like The Tomb of the First, or something like that. I don't know. I need to find a spacey way to put it where it doesn't sound too like 1920s like adventure pulp. So I need to. I'll do some workshopping and get back to you guys in a year or so.
Well, I mean, hopefully it won't be a year till we get to see you on the show, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to hearing more about the stuff you've done. And is there aught else? You know, I roped you into this little circus that I hold on a nightly basis, but you were polite enough to clamber on up and sit in the pilot seat. So is there aught else that you've got going on that you want to discuss?
Well, I mean, not too much else. I am currently locked in the getting close to a milestone myself. I'm like I think I'm like 20 followers away from 6K on X. The funny part of that is I feel like in the algorithm, there's like this thing where the second you get close to any major milestone, they will like start removing bots more from your account. Yeah. So you have that cycle for like 3 weeks where you like gain 5 subscribers, lose 10, gain 5, gain 10, and then go back down again. So I mean, it's I don't talk about it because on like X, because it's like that feels very like e-begging, and I already do enough of that when I put up my "Have you heard about my books?" posts. But
I love your "Have you heard about my books?"
But it's been like one of those like Dow Jones reports that I've been watching go up and down for 3 weeks now. I'm like,
oh, I have been driving the audience up the wall since the YouTube Shorts thing has started pushing me my stuff faster on YouTube. I
yeah.
will sit here for like 15 minutes at the start. Well, guys, the numbers are looking really solid today. Those shorts are doing are doing big numbers. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
So no, I get it. I completely get it. And when it's like, numbers go up and you're like, yes, just according to plan. And then you see it drop by one. You want to crawl
and it's
under
like,
the table
and
with
it's
like
like,
a bottle of Jameson and cry.
Well, it's also it'd
be kind of cool with this whole building right here.
I don't know. I'm still frankly astonished that I have close to 6,000 followers at all.
You shouldn't be. You're an accomplished author.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I don't know, but it's just funny to think about when I'm like, how do I have 6,000 people vaguely interested in what I'm doing? But it's I don't know. It's just funny.
Well, I think it's awesome, and I think it's awesome that you volunteered to jump on like an hour and 20 minutes ago, saying quietly to me, yeah, I can hop on for a few minutes, but I can't stay. And I got you to stay.
All right, but I probably, speaking of it being quiet, I probably need to go check on this dog. So I may have to gracefully go ahead and make my exit. So
well, okay, we will let you slide on out of here. You have you have done the thing that we so enjoy, and that is sitting and talking to us. It's so rare that we get grown-ups who come here and I can make these people behave for. So but no, all kidding aside, Alyssa, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Just it's always a lot of fun, guys. Scroll up through the chat, the links in there for all Alyssa's stuff, and you should buy all of her books. I'm just going to say that flat out. I don't care what genres you are or are not into. There is almost certainly something to please there in her set. Thank you so much. And when you see your dog, tell her I said
she was so dramatic. She's like, why would you leave me like this? Why would you? Like, I'll come in the house and she's just like jumping and she's like, I know Dad was here for lunch. I know he was here 15 minutes ago. You are not that attention deprived.
Well, she's a sweetie. So again, thank you, dear. And I will see you next week.
Yeah.
In person.
Literally same bat time, same bat channel.
Same bat time, same bat channel, dear. Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you. All right, see ya.
All right, everybody. The lovely and talented Alyssa Hazel was here. Wasn't that a great surprise? I saw her in the audience and I was like, come here. I want you to sit over here. And I'm going to turn the camera on. That was a lot of fun. And thank you guys all very much for hanging out tonight while I did that. That's not all we're going to do tonight, though. Fear not. We have had in the last couple of days, we've had a lot of people sign up for the GUOC. And there have been a few questions about how we do how we're going to do the GUOC, the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention. That is April 9th to April 12th. That is going to be, by the way, it's 24 hours a day. Guys, it is a convention. It is online. It is entirely free. There is no fee to attend the con. There's no fee to GM. You don't have to do anything like that. What you have to do, guys, is join us over on the official GUOC Discord, the Great Underground online gaming convention. I'm going to pull that up here, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what the GUOC is and how you do the GUOC. So let me do the, and by the way, Alyssa's going to be at the GUOC. I forgot to mention that while she was here, but is that going to, let's see, is that going to work? Yes. Okay. So, oh, come all ye faithful to this Discord. Yes, 24 hours. Look, here's the thing with the rooms. This is not like a stadium or an event space or something like that where I have to like pay extra time. Guys, you can come into the game areas and run a game anytime you want during the GUOC. I literally don't mind. I do not mind. So what you can do is come over to the server. This URL that I just put up there, that Discord URL, is your invitation to the GUOC. That's your badge right there. What you see is the badge. If you click and come over there, congratulations. You're at the GUOC. You are registered for the GUOC. Kabuki Kid asks a good question. So maybe before we go into the mechanics of what I'm about to, let me answer this question. Are there any passive things to watch, listen to? Yes, there are. We are going to have author panels where if you want, you can ask questions. Richard Witters, Tracy Lesh, Sky Hernstrom, Alyssa Hazel, Heidi Gygax Garland, and Eric Garland are going to be just some of our panelists that we're having at the GUOC this year. We're going to do live stream panels, and you're going to be able to buy books and all sorts of cool merch from them. They will have available at the GUOC, and I'm excited about it. I hope you're excited about it. So yes, there will be panels you can attend and listen to folks talk about about their stuff. Like tonight, Alyssa just talked some serious book talk to us. Do you guys like that sort of thing? Because stuff like that's going to be available at the GUOC, and you're going to be able to participate. You can sit there quietly and type your questions in. If you've got a mic, you can talk. Camera is not going to be mandatory for any events. It's not going to be mandatory. ABC says, I know a tremendous D&D comedy troupe. Drop me a message about that, Brad. Alyssa Hazel, bass harmonicist. Hope that answers your question. But anyway, so yeah, there's going to be panels. We're going to have merch. We're going to have all sorts of cool stuff. So I hope you guys will attend. And again, all you have to do is join on the Discord right there. So the question came up a few times today. Hey, I want to run a game at the GUOC. How do I do it? Here's how you do it. And I'm going to share my screen. So let's go share screen, window. I'm going to put this up here. So when you come to the GUOC, this is what you're going to see. You're going to start off in the general area here. Now, let me take you on a tour through the event space. Does anything in particular go on in the server when the event is not happening? No, Kayla, it is. You guys aren't going to steal the furniture or rip the copper wiring out of the walls. So if people want to come into the GUOC server and do stuff in the event rooms, I'm okay. Just be aware that between the 9th and the 12th, but here we are. Here's the GUOC. You can see there's people already in there. They're talking up a storm. But when you come in, when you land, you're signed up. You don't have to do anything else. So the question comes, How do I join a game then? How do I join a game? If you look over here in the left-hand column, we have the events page. There's 5 events in there so far. There's the members list. You know what that is, server boost. We don't fart around with that. Here's the text channels. We do polls. We list convention events, and there are convention announcements that I will make in there. There's a live demo page, and then there's a welcome page. But what we're focusing on right now is convention events. You can join an event. You can join an event one of 2 ways. The easiest way to do it, what I would recommend, is come to the top events, look at the events there. And we already have some people who set up games. Labyrinth, Cal Arath, Berghoff, Valley of Storms, The Creature of Rill. Now, you'll see there's these green checks that say interested. Here is how you sign up for a game. I'm going to do this. Let's see. That's not where I wanted to go. Okay, so that's the calendar. What I meant to do was come to convention events. There's Calarath. You see that? Click that. Now that RSVP that just popped up, only I can see that. But I'm now signed up for Calarath. Now, if it's somebody running Calarath, I'm doing this as an example. I'm not saying I'm not going to play, but let me there. I removed myself from signups. So if you sign up for something and that person cancels it and you want to make yourself available, just come to convention events, scroll to the event you're looking for, find out where you're registered, click, and then then just uncheck it. That's it, guys. That's how you sign up for events. It's that easy. Now, the next question that people have had is, how do I go about DMing an event, GMing an event, whatever? What do I have to do to sign up to do that? Well, we'd love to see you there, Kabuki. There's an extra step involved, just a slight extra step involved. Let me know that you want to run a game. I will come in. I will right click on your username and I will give you GM permission. You're then authorized to schedule games. And here's how you do that. You can do that from any text room in the server. We're going to do it from general. I'm going to come over here. And you do /create. Title. S1, The Tomb of Horrors. Date time. We're going to do April. We're going to do 4/9/2026. And that's it. I just created the Tomb of Horrors. Now, I can edit this event and I can put in more details. I can give it a time. And I'm actually fixing to go cancel this because I don't want people to think that I'm actually running the Tomb of Horrors on that day, because I'm not. At least I'm not planning on. Let's see. There's Sesh. And let's go back. That's just the reminder from Sesh. But I can come in here and I can go to convention events. And is it here? Delete. Confirm delete. And it's gone. That's it. That's all you have to do. That's literally all you guys have to do to create your events and sign up for events. That's it. It is super easy, guys. It is super duper easy. I'm going to talk to Dooms. I think we may have a merch bot this year. I know there's a tip bot. If you wish to tip, you don't have to. I'm just saying, I believe there is a tip bot. But I will ask Dooms about that because he has been so instrumental in helping getting this thing going. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. But that's it, guys. That's how easy it is to do. All you have to do is come in, look at events. It is easier to sign up through convention events for a game than the event calendar. Now, you will know when your game is because near to game time, I will come in here and we will do, you know what? Let's be a little more. You'll see your room and it will have a label. And you just click on that room. Now, speaking of passive things, I know this is not the question that Kabuki necessarily asked, but I am going to tell you guys, Bob Jester, get out of there. Yeah, Ryan George is great. So let's talk about times. I would prefer it. It would be of great help to me if you would run your games. I'm sorry, this is not what I was going to talk about. I will come back to the thing I said about Kabuki in a minute. But if you would run your games on the 12/4 system, that is 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, whatever, out from noon or midnight, wherever you're at. So, you know, if you're going to run your game, if you know your game only lasts 2 hours, do it from 2 to 4, or do it from 4 to 6, or do it from noon to 2, or whatever. Unless it's just a killer diller for you, don't start it at weird hours. It just makes it easier for me. Bob's like, what? I had my dice. I had a few characters. I was ready to go. But anyway, go and just it's just that simple to do. It's that easy. Now, Kabuki asked about passive stuff. I don't mind if you kibitz in someone's game server and watch them play if you just want to listen to people playing, as long as that DM doesn't mind. It is not a rule. I do not insist that DMs let you watch their games. If they don't want you there, if they say, hey, are you playing? No. Okay, could you please leave the room? Leave the room. Do as they asked. Exit the room. But generally speaking, I don't mind. I love it. Yeah, I genuinely speaking, I don't mind if people sit. Now, you do not have to have a camera. It's probably best that you have audio. I'm going to hop into an event room here and I'm going to show you guys something. Let's do this. When I come in this event room, if you guys look, there's this little white word balloon here. If you open chat, you'll see there is an entire dice rolling and text chat area. And to quit it, by the way, you just hang up the phone here. You click the disconnect button, and that takes you out, and then you can come back in general. But there is a text chat. You can share your screen. If you know your way around Discord, all the stuff you can do in Discord, you can do in the event rooms. It's very easy to do. It's very, very simple. So easy peasy. The other thing I want to mention, because we did have a little bit of a problem, lowercase p, with this last year, so we're not going to have that this year. Well, we had it this past year. We're not going to have it next year because I'm not going to put up with it. If a game master asks you to leave their session, if they think you're being disturbing, even if they said, yeah, you can sit in here, leave their session. If they prefer that you not be in their game, don't be in their game. Find something else to do. If you grief someone's, thank you, ABC. If you grief someone's game, I will remove you from the convention. I won't put up with disruption. If everybody's laughing and like, you know, you're observing a game and you're in there making fart jokes and everybody's laughing, like splitting their side and that sort of thing, and there's one disgruntled person who's like, this person is screwing up the game, that is between that person and the game master. But if the game master is like, I can't run my game, John_Smith is being constantly disruptive, John_Smith, I will remove you myself, if you know. That be said, don't weaponize that against this is not a schoolyard. Don't say like, John_Smith's being a jerk, throw him out. I will decide. I will get the feeling from everyone, and I can look at the chat logs, guys. I can look at the chat logs. So be respectful. The game masters who are putting together games and the other players who are going to be there are taking time out of their day to do this. And the game masters, any game master, whether you're at somebody's house, whether you're at a local event, or whether you're at a convention, they have taken the time to organize an RPG. And if you know anything about organizing an RPG, you know what a giant plastic pain in the ass that can be if things are going normally okay. So don't make it hard on people, or I'll ask you to leave. But don't worry, I'll refund everything that you have to pay to go to the online GUOC if I have to do that. Puts away the whoopee cushions and joy buzzers. Don't you dare. You bring those out. The last thing I'm going to mention is game content, because somebody asked me about this today. Somebody said they were running a grimdark game, and I initially I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I mean, Twilight 2000 is a grimdark game. AD&D Dark Sun is grimdark. And then I started to think about the broad definition of what grimdark could entail. So I feel like I'm going to have to put together a document that I want people to have in their hands, but I will say this live on the air. I don't necessarily have a problem if you put themes in your game that are dark and depressing and so on. With that said, if you're running GURPS The Road, it is sufficient to say this is the grim end of humanity. People are committing heinous acts just to survive for another day. Unspeakable things a decade before are commonplace now. That's it. That's all you have to do. All right. We know what happens in ultra grim dark stuff. All right. there's basically, it's, would you guys be comfortable discussing this with young children level of discourse that I think we need to weigh and to consider? Maybe not young children, you know what I'm saying, right? Basically, I guess, guys, don't show up with Fatal and expect for me to accept you and say, oh, you're going to run Fatal? Absolutely. Welcome. No, you're not. I won't allow it. If it's something that would be in the RPG Fatal, you're not to do it in events at the GUOGC. And if I get wind that you were doing that, I will ask you to, again, to leave the server and not return. And if you don't, I will remove you from the server and prevent you from returning to it. So, God, we're 4. This will be the 5th GUOGC coming up, and we're actually starting to get where I'm having to make some rules. And when I say having to make rules, I'm not like, I didn't have to do this until you people start. That's not what I'm saying. This is something I should have been doing from the get-go. It's just things that I'm just now thinking about. So, we can have a hard R. You don't have to run a Serbian film, the RPG. I don't want you to. Don't do that. Be mindful and respectful to your other players and DMs. For convenience sake, please do the 12/4 on your scheduling. And have fun. Have fun at the GUOGC. I'm gonna be talking about this just on and on and on between now and the 9th. So that's a thing that's going to happen. I'm just I'm looking forward to it, guys. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I don't really think I've got anything else. Tomorrow night, we are going to play the penultimate Gamma World game of 2025. It may be the penultimate Gamma World game, period. We might switch to a different sci-fi game for Fridays. We've had a lot of fun with Gamma World. I don't want to chew all the flavor out of it, guys. So Gamma World Friday, this Friday coming up, probably going to do one post Turkey Day if I can get everybody. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. So Alyssa, if you're watching or listening, thank you so much, dear, for being here. Love you to pieces. Thank all you guys for being here. I know some folks, like, your travel might start this weekend and you're just not, I'm not going to see you again. But we have run some Classic Traveler, Kayla. It's very enjoyable, but anyway, so if you're out of here, if you're gone after tonight, like you do a big like week plus Thanksgiving vacation, you know what's crazy? I know people who like go, like they'll fly across the country for Thanksgiving, like Thanksgiving morning, they're boarding a jet and flying from Chicago to New York or Milwaukee to Florida or Dallas to LA or something like that. And then Thanksgiving night, they're getting on a plane and fly. I couldn't function like that. I could not do that. But some of you guys might be doing a big broad vacation. If I don't see you then over the Thanksgiving holiday, God bless you, safe travels. But I have a feeling most of you will be here. Scootifier Mike, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Blessings to you. Blessings to you, Mike. I will get you on this live stream. I will get you on this live stream very soon. In fact, clear off your calendar for Monday afternoon at 6 p.m. U.S. Eastern. You're driving to Oklahoma Wednesday, driving back Friday. See, that's the craziness I'm talking about. And it can be a good craziness, but be safe regardless of what you guys do. We'll be back tomorrow with Gamma World. We'll be back Monday. We'll do AD&D Tuesday. And then for the Wednesday and Thursday, I'll be out. But blessings to you all regardless. And I'm just going to go ahead and skate on out of here tonight. Listen, invite a neighbor over. Have some fun with them. Share a drink. Enjoy a game. Even if that neighbor is an owl bear. Peace. Good night. Love you all.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Naked as a toad all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.